This is Reddit Tales. Today's story follows a husband who went through years of infertility treatments, only to find out his wife was carrying another man's baby and still expected him to stay. As you listen, imagine the moment where you would have walked away for good. Hey Reddit, call me Alex. I am 35, and until recently I thought I was just a regular married guy trying to start a family. My wife KH Lowe and I have been married 7 years. We met in our mid-20s at a boring office job in the suburbs. Nothing special from the outside. She was all spark and loud opinions and that big laugh. I was the steady one, the guy who remembered dates and planned little surprises. We talked about kids early. We both wanted a house full of noise and tiny feet. That dream is what started everything and what eventually broke it. It began about 2 years ago. We started trying for a baby, tracking cycles, timing everything, acting like it was a mission. But months turned into a year and nothing happened. KH Lowe suggested we see a specialist. I agreed right away. I had already read way too many articles about male fertility at 3 in the morning. The first tests came back unclear. The doctor said there might be low motility on my side. Nothing final, just a possibility. It was enough to make KH Lowe's eyes fill in the waiting room. "We will fix this," I told her, squeezing her hand. "Whatever it takes." And I meant it. I cut out beer, started working out harder, took those awful supplements that tasted like chalk. We did IVF rounds. She had egg retrievals and hormone crashes. I took injections and drove her to every appointment. When she curled up on the couch in pain, I rubbed her back and whispered that we would get there. I turned down a promotion that meant longer hours because I wanted to be home. I sold my old truck to help pay deductibles. We poured thousands into procedures that were basically medical roulette. One spring day, after another negative test, we sat in the parking lot of the clinic while rain hit the windshield. She sobbed into my shoulder. "Alex, what if it is never us? What if we are broken? Then we figure out adoption or fostering or something else," I said, "but it is us against this always." She looked up, eyes red, and kissed me like I was her hero. That is the part that still stings. I really believed I was. Back then, our sex life was scheduled, then strained, then almost gone. Stress, the doctors said. I took it on the chin. I booked couples therapy to keep us close. One session stands out. The therapist asked about love languages. KH Lowe said mine was acts of service. True, I will do anything for the people I love. She said hers was words of affirmation. I promised to remind her every day that she was my world. "You are stronger than this fight," I would text from meetings. "We got this." On my side, it was all about we. I did not know she had already switched to me. The signs started small. Late nights at work events. Her phone buzzing at odd hours. A new perfume, she said, was a gift from a client. A coworker named Ryan, whose name kept popping up on her screen. I saw texts like, "Can't wait for drinks," with little heart emojis. I told myself it was networking. Marketing people live in that world. Our intimacy faded further. Weeks went by without touch. I lay awake staring at the ceiling. Give her space, I told myself. Support her. She is under pressure too. This is where a lot of people talk themselves out of their own instincts. You feel something is off, but you label it stress and keep sacrificing. I cooked her favorite meals after failed cycles. I planned beach weekends to reset. On one trip to the coast, we walked at sunset, her head on my shoulder. "I love you, Alex. You are my rock," she said. I believed every word. Then 3 months ago, she walked into our kitchen while I was making pasta and dropped the bomb. "Alex, I am pregnant." Her voice cracked. Tears streamed down her face. My heart exploded. I dropped the spoon, hugged her so tight I lifted her off the floor. "How? When?" I laughed and cried with her. She said it had happened naturally, no meds, just luck. The math was off. We had barely been intimate in 2 months. But I pushed the thought away. Joy overpowered logic. I booked the first ultrasound and started Googling cribs. I told myself it was our miracle. After everything, we finally did it. A week later, at work, I opened my calendar and counted dates again. The timelines did not add up. Not with our last time together and her cycle. I told myself it was stress making me miscalculate. That night, she was in the shower and left her phone on the counter. It buzzed. Ryan, can't stop thinking about last week and the test being positive. We are doing this. My stomach dropped. I scrolled up. Months of messages, flirty at first. You are too good for that house husband routine. Then more explicit. Photos. Plans to meet at his place. Comments like, he gets me excited. Alex, you just do not anymore. The line that broke me was about the baby. Our little secret. Alex still thinks it is his fight. The shower ran in the background while my world came apart in my hands. Betrayal is one thing. Turning your partner into the cover story for your affair is something else entirely. I sat there with the phone numb. The pasta boiled over on the stove. I did not move. The worst part of me still wanted to fix it, to ask what I had done wrong. Then something in me went very quiet, not this time. I did not confront her that night, or the next. I knew if I exploded without proof, she would flip it on me. So the next day I called in sick for the first time in years. I dug, more texts, hotel receipts hidden in our joint statements. Ryan was a sales guy at her firm, flashy gym selfies, leased BMW. I found messages to her sister. He could not give me a child. He failed me. The fertility conversations with the doctor flooded back. All the time she pushed the idea that we know it is you, then backed off when I looked hurt. By Friday, I was done gathering. I printed what I needed. My hands shook, but my mind was clear. That evening she was on the couch, hand on her belly, scrolling nursery photos like we were living a dream. Low, I said, holding the stack. We need to talk. She froze when she saw the papers. The color drained from her face, then she smoothed her shirt like nothing was wrong. What is that work stuff? She asked. I laid the pages on the table, texts, dates, receipts. The counting back of conception circled in red. All of it, I said. How long, Low? And the baby, Ryan's. She scanned the first page and sank onto the couch. It was not planned, she said. It just happened. There was no real apology, just a kid caught with crumbs on her face. For how long, I asked, and is the baby his? 6 months. Maybe 7, she muttered. The pregnancy, yes, his. Her hand rested on her stomach. But I love you, Alex. This does not change us. I laughed once. It sounded like it came from someone else. It does not change anything. You lied about everything. The tests. The affair. You used our pain to hide what you were doing. Her eyes hardened. Your problem, she snapped. Yes, Alex, it was. The doctor said low motility. You heard him. I waited for you to fix it. Years of nothing, feeling like half a woman because you could not. She said it like a verdict. This is what weaponized shame sounds like. It takes one vague sentence from a doctor and turns it into a character flaw you can never escape. We were in it together, I said quietly. I gave up promotions, sold my truck. Sat with you through every shot, every procedure, and you made me the villain in your story. She stood and started pacing. What did you expect? You could not give me a child. He could. This is your fault as much as mine. You failed me as a man first. Those words were cold. That was not grief speaking. That was contempt she had been holding for a long time. She took a breath and softened her tone, at least on the surface. Ryan saw me. He made me feel wanted, not just tolerated. The baby is proof. We were broken long before this. Failed as a man, echoed in my head. Then I remembered sitting in that clinic chair with her hand in mine while she said, "You are enough always." Lies sit differently once you know what they were covering. I did not yell. I did not beg. I just nodded slowly. I see. She read it as me folding. She stepped closer. Look, we can work through it. Co-parent, you are stable, good with kids. Ryan's excited, but he is not you. We could. No, I said, just that. I stood and picked up the papers. You chose him. You chose the lie. That is not my life anymore. Her face shifted, smug for a second, like she already knew how this would end. Oh, come on, you will forgive me. You always do. Who is going to want you now? The guy who could not even get me pregnant. She laughed and started packing an overnight bag like the script was already written. She said she was staying at Ryan's for the night and told me to think about it for the baby's sake. I watched her pack. Then, without a word, I handed her the house key she kept on the hook. "Take care," I said. She paused at the door. "You will regret this, walking away from your family, pathetic." Then she left. I sank to the floor, back against the wall. The house smelled like her shampoo. Her words looped in my head, but underneath the pain something else was building, anger and clarity. She did not just cheat, she turned our shared wound into her cover story. The next Monday, I filed for divorce online. Simple, no big speeches. Our finances were basic. I moved her stuff into boxes and dropped them at Ryan's office. No note. I found a therapist and started video sessions from my home office. In the first one, I told him everything. The affair, the pregnancy, her words. She said I failed as a man, I said. That is her shame projected onto you, he replied, not your truth. We unpacked how loyalty kept me blind. How I kept sacrificing to keep the idea of family alive, even when the reality was crumbling. You sacrificed for a ghost, he said once. It hurt, but he was right. Nights were rough. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling fan, remembering clinic days, nausea, blizzards, and all the hope we had packed into that small house. I booked a repeat fertility test at a different clinic, quietly. No discussion. The email came back a week later, motility normal, count excellent. There was no medical problem. Vindication felt sharp and soft at the same time. I did not rush to throw it in her face. I kept it for me. Proof that the story she built on my back was never true. Little by little, my life shifted. I went to the gym a few times a week. Picked my guitar back up in the garage. Played pickup basketball when my friend Mark dragged me out and told me I looked like hell. After the game, I finally told him. KH Lowe's pregnant. It is not mine. He hugged me hard. She does not deserve the dirt on your shoes, he said. That kind of support chipped away at the isolation. Meanwhile, word started leaking. I shared the test result with one friend, and in our small circle things spread. People heard I was not actually infertile, that the affair had been going on for months. That she had used my issue as cover. Her version of events stopped working. Ryan left first. A mutual friend told me he bailed right after an ultrasound when the reality of being a dad got too real. He called me once to say it was not his circus and hung up. That was that. KH Lowe's social media shifted from confident pregnancy posts to tearful quotes about judgment and doing it alone. Her job circle cooled. Her parents started pushing her to own her choices instead of blaming me. The baby, a little girl named Lily, was born mid-summer. Healthy? KH Lowe posted one photo, tiny feet, the caption, "Our fighter." I looked at it once. I did not feel proud or jealous. I felt distance. She had built this story without me. Now she had to live inside it. A week later, she left a voicemail. Her voice was hoarse. "Alex, she is here. Lily, she is perfect, but it is hard. Ryan never showed. I need you. Please just talk to me for her." I listened in my car, engine running. I texted back once, "Congratulations, take care." That was it. Then came her sister, Jenna, with the guilt trip about family helping family. I told her calmly that my boundary was firm and that KH Lowe chose someone else to be the father. Jenna called me heartless. I blocked her too. By then, my life was different. I had moved into a new place downtown with a view of the river. I had accepted a promotion I once turned down. I had started seeing someone new, Emma. We were taking it slow. She was calm, kind, and did not need drama to feel alive. That is when desperation really started showing up. Sarah, a former coworker of KH Lowe's, caught me at a coffee shop. "She is falling apart," she said. "She regrets everything. Just come over once for old times for Lily." Old times meant old patterns. I shook my head. "I am wishing her well," I said, "but that is not my life anymore." One night there was pounding at my door. I looked through the peephole and saw KH Lowe. Hair messy, eyes wild, baby in a carrier on her chest. "Alex, open up. I know you are in there," I cracked the door on the chain. Lo, it is late, go home. Home, she snapped. You stole it. You are living peaceful while I drown. Lily screams all night. My parents treat me like poison. This is your fault. You paraded that test like a trophy. You are pathetic. You made choices, I said. I am not here to fix them. She shoved the door with her shoulder. 7 years, she said. You owe me. Ryan was a mistake. You are the rock. Admit it, you missed this. She bounced the baby to make her cry louder like sound could break me. This is where a lot of people give in out of guilt. They step back into a fire they did not start, just because it is burning someone they used to love. I unchained the door, stepped into the frame, and blocked the entrance. No more, I said. Not this door, not this life. Then I closed it, firm, locked it. Her sobs echoed in the hall, then faded. Months passed. Messages slowed. I kept living, work, hiking, even just sitting on my balcony with coffee, feeling the quiet and realizing it was not punishment. It was peace. About 8 months after I first found those texts, she showed up one last time. It was a Saturday evening. I opened the door on the chain again. She stood there in a hoodie, Lily on her hip. She looked older, tired. Some of the anger was gone. Mostly I saw emptiness. I drove 3 hours, she said. She is teething. I cannot do this alone. Ryan is gone. My friends are gone. I ended things with everyone. You were always everything. Come back for us, please. She pushed Lily forward like proof. The baby waved a fist and made a little noise. It tugged at me for a second, but only as a person. Not as a father. What do you want from me exactly? I asked. Help, anything. Advice, a night off. We could co-parent or more. We could fix this. You made your choice, I said. You chose him. You chose to lie. You chose to say I failed you as a man. That all has nothing to do with me anymore. I met her eyes. Do not contact me again. Her face broke. She tried to argue, to throw out family and for the baby, and I was scared. I closed the door. On the other side, I heard her slide down the wall and cry. Then I heard footsteps going down the stairs. Inside, I leaned back against the door and let out a long breath. I did not feel powerful or cruel. I felt steady. For the first time since this started, I knew I had chosen myself all the way through. Lesson 1. If someone uses your shared pain as a shield for their lies, that is not a partner. That is someone willing to turn you into the villain to protect themselves. Lesson 2. A medical maybe is not a license for cruelty. Real love does not weaponize a possible weakness and throw it in your face when it is convenient. Lesson 3. A baby does not automatically erase betrayal. You can care about a child's well-being and still refuse to step into a role that was never honestly offered to you. Lesson 4. Boundaries are not punishment. They are how you stop someone from injuring you over and over with the same behavior. Lesson 5. Sometimes the most dignified response is silence and distance. You do not have to prove your value to the person who decided you failed them while they were the one cheating. What about you? If you found out the miracle baby after years of infertility was not yours, and your partner blamed you for everything, what would you have done in Alex's place? And do you think he was right to stay out of Lily's life completely? Or would you have made a different choice?